Last episode, we talked about the history of water management in California. This episode, we're going to share how the mismanagement of this resource has impacted low-income communities of color and how you can get involved in local water management planning efforts to make sure it's done fairly moving forward.
The agricultural industry in the San Joaquin Valley expanded in the 19th century, and our water use soared. This huge expansion attracted many agricultural workers to the region. Most were people of color who worked for very low wages. They formed small informal settlements closer to the farms where they worked, particularly since land covenants barred them from living in many cities. Over time, these small settlements became permanent communities. We now know these communities as unincorporated communities in California.
Now, many of these communities are the ones without running water or have contaminated drinking water because of the way local agencies have decided to manage and invest in water resources. To give you a sense of the scope of the problem, over 100 small rural and disadvantaged communities rely on contaminated tap water.
Now, our region has the chance to manage our groundwater in a more sustainable and fair way. The Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, or SGMA, is changing the way that farmers, cities, and households use water. And you can get involved to make sure they protect drinking water for disadvantaged communities. They're making critical decisions before January of 2020, and will continue to change the way we use water for at least the next 20 years.
Many of our cities in the San Joaquin Valley and most of our unincorporated communities in the region rely on groundwater wells, meaning water from the aquifers as opposed to surface water from rivers or canals. This means we need enough clean groundwater to drink, cook with, wash dishes, and live.
Historically, there haven't been any limits on how much groundwater anyone can use. We've been slowly draining our aquifers. The overwhelming majority of that water has been used by the agricultural industry, which is using more of this precious resource every year than can be recharged into the aquifer. As our aquifers have been drained, we've seen really bad impacts, like thousands of families' wells going dry during the drought. The impacts have been harshest for communities like East Porterville and Tombstone Territory.
When a family's well goes dry, it means weeks, if not months, of not being able to do the basic things to keep your family healthy. Imagine if you had no water in your home and had to go out and buy bottled water or get water from a neighbor's hose. Residents we work with have had to go more than 4 months without water in their home and still live in constant fear that it's gonna happen again.
Now, because of SGMA, lots of local agencies have been formed to protect our shared groundwater resources. These agencies need to develop plans that prepare for the worst. They need to make sure that we save enough groundwater to protect drinking water for communities like Tombstone Territory, even in dry years.
Please get involved. The clock is ticking, and these plans are being voted on as we speak. Make sure your local agency knows how important it is to protect our drinking water resources. To get involved, please contact Leadership Council.
If we don't change the way we manage our water, more families will suffer. If we deplete our groundwater supplies, we'll eventually see impacts on community water systems, city water supplies, and agricultural operations. We must take care of what we've got. We can't buy our way out of this problem or make water appear out of thin air. There is no planet B.